liquid appeared on the end of the spur. And good. Then she turned on the water and set about the laborious process of getting the slime out of her hair. "So, what do you think of the place so far?" she asked Alessio as she sipped her coffee and swallowed one of her pills. "What's to think?" he asked, without looking up from his tablet computer. "Well, the view out the window is nice," she said, taking 2 more pills. "It's a very grey, cloudy kind of place," said Alessio. "We're right opposite Hyde Park, and I just saw one of those red double-decker buses go by. I expect we'll get some time off from the negotiations. We can do London things, the Tate, Trafalgar Square, Harrods, and we could go to Buckingham Palace." Her brother looked at her skeptically over his computer. "I'm not saying that I want to meet a prince or anything, but it would be cool to see the changing of the guard." He shrugged. "And the hotel is very posh." "Every room on this floor is probably bugged," Alessio said grimly, a little frown line appearing between his eyebrows. "And everyone we meet is probably from the Checquy. That woman who just brought up the food was looking around like she thought we'd have entrails on the floor for her to tidy up along with the waste paper bins." She was probably aghast that a 23-year-old woman has to share a suite with her 13-year-old brother, said Odette, swallowing another 2 pills. "I'm aghast at that as well," said her brother. Odette made a little snorting sound as she looked at him thoughtfully. They both had the same heart-shaped face and the same dark brown hair, but Alessio's hair was dead straight, whereas hers had a tendency to go curly unless she was concentrating. Thankfully, she was still a good deal taller than him, but people in their family often went through a growth spurt late in their teens, and she had no doubt that he would eventually be the one resting drinks on her head. However, at the moment, he looked very vulnerable. There were still traces of puppy fat on his face, and in his little suit and carefully tied tie, he reminded her of a boy going to a funeral, forced to face adult things too soon. "I really am sorry about all this," she said to him, and he looked up at her. "You shouldn't have to be acting as a diplomatic representative. You should be—" She trailed off. "What?" he asked. "At home in Rushlara with my tutors, working on my surgical skills like a regular teenager?" He rolled his eyes. "Grootvader Ernst wanted me to come. He wanted both of us to come. He said it would help." "Yes, but I'm actually going to be engaged in negotiations, albeit in some unspecified capacity," said Odette, pausing a moment to swallow 4 more pills. "You're going to be, what? Standing around looking harmless, showing them that we're not all monsters that have been so heavily modified that we're no longer human?" "Only because I'm not 15 yet," said her brother. "At least you have some weapons inside you." "Not enough," said Odette darkly. She popped 3 more pills in her mouth and slammed them down with the last of the coffee. "Now, how long do I have before the meeting to finalize the strategy for the cocktail party?" "Half an hour," said her brother. "All right, I'm going to do my injections and get ready." In the bathroom, Odette eyed herself closely in the mirror. "I need to look businesslike, professional and normal," she thought. Not overly attractive or unusual, not threatening in any way. She concentrated, and her lips flushed slightly. Good. Not too red, not too dark. Her eyelids darkened subtly, and she dilated her pupils a bit, flinching in the suddenly brighter light. "Going for the belladonna look?" said Alessio as he came into the bathroom to brush his teeth. "Well, we have to make a good impression, and people are attracted to dilated pupils," Odette said defensively, but she constricted them a little. "You're just lucky you don't have to go to this thing tonight." She watched in the mirror as Alessio carefully rolled up his sleeve, slid his arm into the slime-filled bathtub and fished around. He finally located the plug and yanked it out. A little dimple appeared on the surface of the liquid, but the slime did not seem to be in any hurry to vanish down the plug hole. They both stared at it in chagrin. "A couple 100 gallons of eldritch ooze probably aren't going to make a very good impression," Odette